Let the universe think for you. That is what I want to share with you today. Because you've been taught to believe that you must figure it all out. You've been told to plan, to worry, to scheme, to push, to strain. And yet, what if the truth is entirely different? What if you don't need to think your way through life at all? What if the thinking mind is not the master but the servant? What if imagination, pure, radiant, feeling-filled imagination, is the true mind of God within you? What if the thoughts you think, the ones you labor over every day, are but the outer crust of reality, while the deeper mind, the divine mind, is already working things out in ways far more perfect than you ever could? You are not separate from this deeper mind. You are not apart from the universe. You are the universe individualized. You are the dreamer, dreaming dreams and then walking into them, calling them reality. I tell you this: cease trying to figure out how it will happen. The how is not your responsibility. You do not need to know the path. You only need to know the end. All manifestation begins with the end. Assume the end, feel the end, and then let the universe think for you. I have known people who have labored for decades to become successful, to be loved, to be well, to be wealthy. They have worn themselves thin in the pursuit of goals. But when they learned to let go, when they relaxed into the assurance that all things were already arranged for them by an infinite intelligence, they found what they were looking for effortlessly. The moment you stop thinking with your human mind and start feeling with your divine imagination, the shift begins. You feel the wish fulfilled. You feel what it's like to already have it, to already be it. And in that moment you have handed it over to the deeper mind, the universal mind. This is what Scripture means when it says, "Be still and know that I am God." Be still. Stop thinking, stop doubting, stop questioning the process. The mind that asks how is the mind that does not believe. The mind that frets and calculates is the mind that has forgotten its source. But the man who lives in the end, who feels the joy of the thing already done, he has stepped into a greater reality. You do not need to think about how to get there. You need only live as if you are already there. And from that state of being, the steps are taken for you. The universe arranges everything. It draws people, places, events, and ideas into your world with mathematical precision. The greatest secret I have ever discovered is this: the universe thinks in images, in states, in assumptions, not in words, not in analysis, not in worry, but in vision. And when you hold the vision and you refuse to let it go, all of creation bends itself to fulfill it. Let the universe think for you. When you go to sleep tonight, do not fall asleep in the state of the problem. Fall asleep in the state of the solution. Do not sleep with your mind full of doubt or anxiety. Sleep in peace. Sleep in the knowing that it is done. Sleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Your only work, if you can call it work, is to imagine, to assume, to feel, and then to let go. To trust, because trust is the highest form of alignment. When you trust the unseen, you align with the God within. You are not a beggar before an angry God. You are not a worm crawling through dirt, trying to earn blessings through effort. No. You are a son, a daughter, an extension of the infinite. You are the creative power of God made flesh. When you imagine a thing and persist in that assumption, you move the universe. It does not matter what appears to be happening outside you. It does not matter if there are no signs. The signs come after. The evidence comes after. But you must believe first. You must assume first. You do not manifest what you want. You manifest what you are, what you feel to be true of yourself. That is the key. So take your attention away from the problem and fix it entirely upon the solution. You do not heal a sickness by focusing on the sickness. You imagine yourself well and dwell in the joy of that wellness. And then the body rearranges itself to reflect the new state. You do not create wealth by obsessing over lack. You imagine abundance and live in the mood of wealth. And then your world reflects it. But here's what I want you to hear clearly today. You do not need to figure it out. You do not need to plan it. You do not need to control the process. All that doing is a symptom of fear. Faith is stillness. Faith is feeling. Faith is surrender to the deeper intelligence within. The same intelligence that grows the trees, that moves the tides, that beats your heart without your effort. That intelligence is thinking for you. It is dreaming for you. When you give it a clear image, when you give it a feeling, a mood, a fulfilled state, it begins arranging everything in your world to bring it to pass. It does not fail. It cannot fail. but it will only bring forth what you assume to be true. That is the law. It is not personal. It is principle. And when you know the principle, you no longer fight with life. You no longer beg. You no longer chase. You receive. Let the universe think for you. Let it work through you. Let it unfold the path as you rest in the knowing that it is already done. I have lived this. I have watched my own life rearranged like a masterful painting simply by changing my inner assumption. When I stopped trying to figure it all out and instead assumed the end, everything began to move. Ideas came. People appeared. Doors opened. Paths cleared. I did not do any of it. I simply held the feeling of the wish fulfilled. I trusted that the greater mind, the infinite intelligence, was thinking for me, dreaming for me, working through me. I know what it is to worry. I know what it is to fear. I know what it is to wake in the night and wonder how it will all work out. But I also know what it is to surrender. And I will tell you this, surrender is not weakness. It is strength. It is the highest power. When you surrender to the vision, you are no longer in conflict with yourself. You are no longer divided. You are whole. And in that wholeness, the impossible becomes inevitable. The one who trusts, receives. The one who believes, manifests. The one who lives in the end, walks with God. So I say to you again, and I will say it many times, let the universe think for you. Let go of needing to know. Let go of needing to control. Let go of needing to solve it with the surface mind. Instead, drop into your heart. Drop into your imagination. Drop into the feeling of it already being done. What does it feel like to be free? What does it feel like to be loved? What does it feel like to have more than enough? What does it feel like to live your dream? Dwell there. Live there. And then let the rest be handled by the deeper intelligence within you. This is not fantasy. This is not delusion. This is how reality works. You are not manifesting randomly. You are not creating haphazardly. Everything in your life right now is a reflection of your inner state. If you want to change the outer, go within. Change your assumption. Change your concept of self. Change your feeling. And then allow the universe to do its part. I tell you from experience, it will. It always does. Every image you impress upon your imagination is a seed. But the growth of that seed is not your job. Your job is to water it with faith, to nourish it with feeling, and then to trust the process. You do not dig up a seed every day to see if it's growing. You trust that beneath the soil, life is stirring. And so it is with the life you dream of. Trust the unseen. Trust the unknown. Trust the deeper part of you that knows the way, even when your logical mind does not. Let the universe think for you. Rest in the knowing that it's already being taken care of. When the world says worry, you say it is done. When the world says hurry, you say I rest in divine timing. When the world says plan, you say I allow the perfect plan to unfold. You are not lazy when you do this. You are aligned. You are not passive. You are powerful. Because true power is not effort. It is alignment with the source. It is assumption. It is imagination. It is faith. So do not think so much. Feel more. Do not analyze. Assume. Do not chase. Attract. Let the universe think for you. Let the universe think through you. Let the power that created all things work for you, through the gift of assumption. And you will be amazed at how quickly your world reflects your inner state. You are not here to suffer. You are not here to struggle. You are here to remember. To remember that you are the image and likeness of God. That the Father and you are one. That imagination is the only reality. And once you remember this, you live differently. You walk with a quiet confidence. You speak with authority. You act from knowing. You do not ask, will it come? You declare, it is done. Let the universe think for you. Stop the mental noise. Cease the worry. Come back to the inner sanctuary. That quiet space within where you and God are one. That stillness is the source of all things. In that stillness you will hear the whisper, all things are yours. And you will know it is true. So breathe, relax, assume the end, and let the universe do what it was designed to do. Reflect your state of being. Let it think for you. Let it provide for you. Let it surprise you. Let it delight you. Because the universe, when trusted, becomes your most faithful servant. But only when you stop trying to think for it. Let the universe think for you. And watch the miracle unfold. Because the moment you try to figure it all out, you block the flow. The conscious mind, limited by appearances, begins to entertain fear, doubt, and resistance. And those vibrations push the thing you desire further away. But when you surrender the problem, when you offer it to the infinite with a clear image and unwavering faith, You become a magnet to solution. The thoughts that arise are not from your limited self, but from the deeper self, the divine intelligence that dwells within. I want you to imagine right now, in this moment, what it would feel like to truly let go, to release the pressure, to no longer carry the burden of how, to stop asking when and through whom, and by what method. Imagine trusting so completely that your entire being relaxes, your breath deepens, your shoulders soften, and in that space, in that peace, you find the truth. It was never your job to know the way. You only had to know the destination. You only had to hold to the vision, and trust that the bridge of incidents, the perfect unfolding of time, people and circumstances, was being woven invisibly on your behalf. When you let the universe think for you, you open yourself to the path of least resistance. You allow the current of divine mind to guide you. And it will always guide you into ease, into peace, into alignment. It will never demand struggle. It will never demand suffering. That idea came from man, not God. You were never meant to suffer your way into blessings. You were meant to receive them effortlessly, through assumption, through rest, through certainty. Because everything is already created. All realities already exist. The one you experience is the one you are most aligned with. The one you most often visit in your imagination. The one you consistently believe to be true, even if only unconsciously. So if you are experiencing something you do not desire, it is not because the universe has failed you. It is because you have, perhaps unknowingly, assumed something contrary to your wish. You have allowed doubt, fear, or habit to choose for you. But the moment you take back control of your attention, the moment you say, no more thinking in fear, and begin to dwell only in the state of the wish fulfilled, everything changes. Everything must change. Because consciousness is the only reality. And when your consciousness shifts, the mirror of life must shift also. Let the universe think for you. The thoughts that come from divine intelligence are pure, powerful, inspired. They do not arise from fear, but from clarity. They are not cluttered, but precise. And when they come, they often feel like knowing, not thought. Like a quiet inner certainty. A gentle nudge. A flash of vision. A sudden realization. This is how the universe thinks for you. It doesn't yell. It doesn't push. It doesn't demand. It whispers. It flows. It guides with ease. And it speaks through the language of feeling, imagination, and intuition. When you relax into this deeper connection, you discover that you don't need to strive anymore. You don't need to be in a hurry. You don't need to chase or prove or beg. You simply align. You simply believe. You simply allow. And as you persist in that state, the world around you transforms. People begin to show up, carrying opportunities you didn't ask for. Ideas strike you with clarity and creativity you didn't expect. Paths unfold that you didn't know existed. And all of it happens without strain. Because you let the universe do the thinking. You gave it the instruction, through your assumption, through your feeling, and then you got out of the way. That is faith in action. And faith is not weak. It is not passive. It is not wishful thinking. Faith is assumption. Faith is living in the end. Faith is knowing that when you declare a thing, the universe immediately begins to orchestrate its fulfillment. And your only job is to remain faithful to that state, to not be moved by appearances, to not be shaken by delay, to not be discouraged by doubt, because delay is never denial. It is only the unfolding of time. Let the universe think for you, and know that what is meant for you is already yours, not by striving, not by effort, but by alignment. When you truly understand this, when you feel it in your bones, you will stop asking the world for permission. You will stop seeking validation. You will walk with quiet power. And from that power you will create worlds. You are not a victim. You are not a prisoner of circumstances. You are not a product of your past. You are a creator. You are imagination. You are the very life and light of God dreaming itself into form. So dream wisely, dream boldly, and then trust. Trust that what you imagined is already yours. Trust that the greater mind, the universe, has already taken your desire and begun to shape it into form. Let the universe think for you, and it will think in ways your rational mind cannot. It will bypass logic. It will defy odds. It will shatter probabilities. It will do what you thought was impossible. But only if you allow it. Only if you stop interrupting the process with fear. Only if you stop canceling your desires with contradictory thoughts. Only if you stop thinking for yourself and start feeling for yourself. Because feeling is the secret. Feeling is the prayer. Feeling is the creative act. Let go of overthinking. Let go of overanalyzing. Let go of trying to solve it with intellect. Instead, move into the feeling. What does it feel like to already have it? Live in that space. And from that space, everything you need will come. The answers, the ideas, the opportunities, the timing. It will all come. Because you no longer think as a man who is separate. You think as God thinks. You feel as God feels. You create as God creates. And how does God create? Not with struggle, not with doubt, not with logic, but with word, with vision, with certainty. God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. You must say, "Let there be wealth," and feel wealthy. You must say, "Let there be love," and feel love. You must say, "Let there be success," and feel successful. And then let it be. Let the deeper mind go to work. Let the invisible realm rearrange itself. Let the universe do the thinking. And you, beloved, simply rest in the knowing. It is already done. It is already finished in the unseen. Your job now is not to build it. Your job is to accept it. Accept it with feeling. Accept it with faith. Accept it as though it were already in your hands, already beneath your feet, already echoing in your life. And the more you dwell in this inner acceptance, the more rapidly the outer world reflects it. You are not waiting on the universe. The universe is waiting on you. To stop doubting, to stop asking if it's working, to stop checking the evidence. It is waiting on you to know, to walk by faith and not by sight, to feel that it is already done, and to no longer need proof. That is true belief. Let the universe think for you. When you imagine rightly, you are feeding the deeper mind a blueprint. You are handing it a divine instruction. And the deeper mind, the God mind, never argues, never delays. It accepts, it obeys, it constructs, it moves all of creation in your favor, because you have aligned with your higher self. When you live in the end, when you feel as though the dream has already materialized, then the invisible becomes visible, the intangible becomes tangible, the formless takes form, but only through assumption, through persistence in the state of the wish fulfilled, through letting go of the outer world, and turning completely inward, where all true creation begins. This is the truth known by the mystics, the prophets, the sages, the artists, the inventors. They did not wait for circumstances to change before they believed. They believed and the circumstances changed. They assumed the identity. They lived the mood, and the universe, ever faithful, responded. This is not superstition. This is not magic. This is law, the law of assumption. And once you begin to live by it, you rise above fear. You rise above anxiety. You rise above lack, because you realize that nothing is truly missing. Everything you desire is already within you, and through imagination, you call it forth. So let the universe think for you. Let it handle the unfolding. Let it chart the path. Let it open the doors, the connections, the synchronicities. And you keep your eyes on the end. You keep your heart full of gratitude. You keep your mind resting in the joy of fulfillment. Do not look to the world to confirm it. Look within. Do not ask others if it's possible. Ask your soul. Do not run around seeking answers. The answer is within the feeling of already being, already having, already living the thing you desire. Let that feeling be your home. Let that feeling be your resting place. Let that feeling guide your steps, and let the universe do the rest. It will surprise you. It will humble you. It will show you how little you had to do once you believe rightly, because manifestation is not about effort. It's about identity. Who are you being? Are you being the man who has it? Are you being the woman who knows it's done? Are you walking as the version of yourself that already lives the dream? Or are you waiting, hoping, worrying? You must choose, because the universe does not respond to words. It does not respond to wishes. It responds to states. And when your inner state changes, your outer world has no choice. It must comply. Let the universe think for you. Let it carry the weight. Let it be the intelligence behind the unfolding. And you, just feel it done. Walk like it's done. Speak like it's done. Breathe like it's done. Because in the higher realm, it is. And when your feeling matches that truth, the veil lifts, the delay dissolves, and what once felt far becomes close. This is your power. This is your inheritance. You are not here to strive. You are here to remember. to remember that you are not a powerless creature hoping for mercy. You are a divine creator, resting in certainty. And when you rest in that knowing, the universe rushes to fulfill it, not because you've earned it, not because you've worked hard enough, or suffered long enough, but because you dared to believe, because you dared to assume it was yours, because you finally got out of the way and let the divine intelligence move through you without interference from your fears, your doubts, or your desperate thoughts. There is no force stronger than a mind made up in the spirit, a mind that refuses to look back, a mind that clings to the feeling of the end, as though it were more real than the facts of the world. And when you reach that place, when your inner conviction becomes more real to you than the outer appearance, you enter into alignment with the universe in its purest form. You see, thought as we often understand it, this anxious, looping, problem-solving kind of thought, is not true thinking. True thought is imaginative. It is felt. It is visual. It is alive. It creates worlds. It does not come from strain, but from surrender. It rises from the silence, from the stillness within. This is why you must be still and know, not guess, not wonder, not ask over and over again, but know. And that knowing is not mental. It is not a calculation. It is not an argument you win with logic. It is a calm inner certainty, a sacred trust. And that sacred trust is what moves mountains. When you let the universe think for you, you no longer panic. You no longer race to the solution. You no longer cling to plans that fail or people who disappoint. You return to the one place that never fails you, your own divine imagination. There you create the reality you wish to see. There you walk as the person you wish to become. There you hear the words you wish to hear. There you live in the home that hasn't yet been built. There you feel the health, the wealth, the love, the peace that already exists on another plane. As you persist in that place, quietly, faithfully, unwaveringly, the veil lifts, the two worlds merge, and what was once imagination becomes incarnation. But this happens only when you surrender your limited mind, only when you stop meddling with the mechanics of how, only when you stop arguing for your limitations, and start accepting your limitless power. Let the universe think for you. You may not know how to heal the body, but your deeper self does. You may not know how the money will come, but your deeper self does. You may not know how the relationship will be restored, or the opportunity revealed, or the breakthrough arrive, but your deeper self does. And it does not need your help. It needs your trust. It needs your feeling. It needs your attention to be fixed on the end, not the process, because the process is not your business. The process is sacred. The process is orchestrated by a mind that sees all, knows all, connects all. You were never meant to micromanage the miracle. You were meant to believe it's already done. The moment you truly believe, deeply, quietly, sincerely, you release the resistance. You stop trying to make it happen, and start allowing it to happen. That is the shift. That is the power. And once you live from that place, you become magnetic. You become a beacon to the very things you once chased. Because the man who needs nothing attracts everything. The man who feels it already done does not chase, he receives. So take your hands off the steering wheel. Close the mental browser tabs. Stop analyzing the delay, and come home to the stillness within. Let the universe think for you. Let it guide the words you speak, the choices you make, the steps you take. Let it be the breath behind your prayer, the silence behind your thought, the current beneath your every action. Because when you no longer try to figure it all out, life begins to flow again. Ideas return, peace returns, opportunities reappear. Everything you thought you lost finds its way back to you, not because you tried to find it, but because you stopped trying to control it. This is the mystery. This is the paradox. The more you try, the less it works. But the moment you surrender, everything begins to move. So stop thinking so hard. Feel more, imagine more, rest more, trust more, and let the universe think for you. Not for a moment, not for a day, but as your way of life. Make it your new habit, your new rhythm, your new posture of being. Walk each morning, not in the tension of needing to control, but in the lightness of knowing it is all being perfectly handled, that everything unfolding, even the delays, even the detours, even the apparent setbacks, are all stepping stones designed by the deeper mind to guide you into the fullness of what you asked for. You are not being denied. You are being prepared. You are being aligned. And the more you relax, the more you surrender, the more you feel from the end, the faster it comes. Not because you rushed it, but because you finally stopped resisting it. Let the universe think for you, and be still enough to hear its answer. Its voice is not loud. It will not shout over your mental noise. It will not fight with your doubts. It whispers, it flows, it nudges, and the quieter your inner world becomes, the clearer its voice becomes. Have you ever noticed how, when you stop thinking about a problem, and just go for a walk, the solution seems to arrive out of nowhere? Have you noticed how, when you stop obsessing over the outcome, and just decide to feel good anyway, that's when the call comes, the door opens, the answer appears? That's not an accident. That's alignment. That's the law in motion. The law does not need your worry. It needs your clarity. It needs your attention to stay fixed on the outcome, not the obstacle. Because where your attention goes, your reality grows. You are always thinking something into existence, so think deliberately, or better yet, imagine boldly, feel deeply, and then let the deeper mind take over. Let the vast intelligence that designed galaxies and flowers and fingerprints take your image, your assumption, your mood, and breathe it into life. And it will. It always does. If you don't see it yet, it's not because it isn't working. It's because you're still looking with your outer eyes. Close them. See with the inner eye. Feel with the inner heart. And let that be enough. When it's real to you within, it must become real without. That is law. That is the promise. The promise never fails. So you don't need to hold your vision with gritted teeth. You don't need to repeat your affirmations like a prisoner hoping for parole. You can simply know. You can smile. You can relax into the knowing that the higher mind has received your request and is already fulfilling it in the best, highest, and most wonderful way. And you won't have to lift a finger in force, or push or fear, because the moment you assumed the end, the wheels were set in motion. So live now as the person who already has it. Think now as the one who already is it. Feel now as the one who has already received it. Let the universe arrange the details. Let the universe write the script. Let the universe select the actors and the timing and the setting. Let it do what it does best. You need not interfere. You only need to believe. Believe with feeling. Believe with feeling. Believe with silence. Believe with stillness. And as surely as the sun rises, it will come to pass. Not by might, not by struggle, but by your quiet, unwavering conviction. This is the essence of true manifestation. Not a battle of effort, but a harmony of consciousness. You are not the architect of the bridge. You are the dreamer of the destination. Once the destination is clear, the bridge is built for you. You will be moved through inspiration, through intuition, through unseen currents, drawing you exactly where you need to go. Let the universe think for you, and watch how your actions no longer feel forced. They feel natural. They arise from a place of peace, not panic. They are not steps taken in desperation, but in confidence, in knowing. This is when life becomes effortless. This is when manifestation becomes inevitable. You see, when you let go of mental resistance, you become a vessel for the divine, and the divine does not hesitate. It moves with clarity. It moves with perfection. It moves through you without conflict. But you must first release the lesser mind, the one that wants to figure out, to calculate, to control. That mind is too small to hold the magnitude of your dream. That mind is too narrow to receive the gift already given. So step back, breathe deeply, and return to the sacred space within. Dwell there often. Visit that inner temple as your true home. Feel the reality of your desire already fulfilled, and let that feeling become your new identity. Not a mask you wear for a moment, but your truest self. And as you wear that identity, the universe will mirror it back to you in form, in time, in space. You are not asking for something outside of you. You are awakening something within you, and everything outside must conform to what is within. So do not ask if it's working. That question is the voice of doubt. Ask instead, am I living from the end? That is the only measure that matters. Because if you are truly living from the end, if you are feeling the wish fulfilled, then the manifestation is already yours, whether you see it yet or not. And the moment you know this, the moment you claim it with your whole being, the outer world becomes a servant to your inner world, the mind, the body, the people, the circumstances all begin to fall into place, not through force, through harmony. Let the universe think for you. Let it be the artist. Let it paint the canvas of your life. And you just decide what the painting will be. You choose the image. You choose the mood. You choose the end. And then you rest in the knowing that it is done. This is the greatest gift you can give yourself. To no longer worry. To no longer strive. To no longer beg. But to simply know that your inner world is the cause, and the outer world is the effect. And when the cause is right, the effect must appear. It is law. So I leave you with this. Stop trying to force. Stop trying to figure it all out, and simply let the universe think for you. Let go of the endless effort, and drop into the truth of who you are, a powerful creator, a divine vessel through which the infinite expresses itself. The life you dream of is not far off. It is only a thought, a feeling, an assumption away. The moment you claim it in your imagination, it is yours. The moment you persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the universe begins to shape the world around you, not through chaos, but through order, not through struggle, but through flow. So rest in the knowing, walk with the assurance, live from the end, and allow the invisible hand of the universe to orchestrate everything on your behalf. You no longer need to chase, you no longer need to beg, you only need to feel, to trust, and to assume, and then watch quietly, peacefully, joyfully, as life bends to the power of your inner world. Let the universe think for you, and it will deliver more than you ever dared to imagine.